afternoon. Oops, I knew that was going to fall. Lieutenant Governor Murray, Commissioner Freeland, fellow board members, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and members of the Worcester State community. I welcome you to the 11th inauguration of President Barry Maloney. I would like to welcome those of you who are joining us for the first time and those who have been away and returned to campus today. I especially would like to welcome all the students who are in attendance today. Today marks the official swearing in of our 11th president. I can tell you there is nothing more important for a member of the Board of Trustees than to select a president. I say to my fellow board members and search committee members, thank you for a job well done. In a short period of time, President Maloney has taken time to work with all the constituencies here at Worcester State. He has been a good listener, communicator, and leader. Now it is his turn to lead this campus for future generations to come. It is truly an exciting time here at Worcester State. For those of you who are unaware, we are in the next 3 years will embark on the largest capital expansion of this institution. In the fall of 2014, we will be opening a $12 million dining hall, a 400-bed residence hall that will overlook the new $50 million wellness center, which is set to open in the fall of 2015. We have come a long way here at Worcester State, and I know that under the leadership and guidance of President Maloney, there are many more things to come. Thank you. Now we invite Ms. Colleen McKenna, class of the 2013, to please come forward for the singing of the national anthem. Please stand with your standing. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Before calling upon our speakers, I have the honor of introducing members of the platform party who do not have a speaking role today. Please be seated. Thank you. First, it is with great pride that I introduce a former president of Worcester State who honored us today by coming back to campus yesterday and is here through the weekend. He served as president from 1992 to 2002. Please welcome Dr. Colleen Ghosh. We also have with us some of our board members, Board of Trustee members. If they could please stand. Trustee Craig Blaze, Trustee Isabel Gonzalez-Webster, Trustee Terry Shanley, Trustee Robert Thomas, and Trustee Ron Valerio. From our administration, if they could all stand. Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Charles Cullen. Vice President for Administration and Finance, Kathleen M. Eichelroth. Vice President for Institutional Advancement, Thomas M. McNamara. Vice President for Student Affairs, Sybil M. Brownlee. It is also my distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Margaret E. Kerr, Professor of Chemistry here at Worcester State. As a graduate from the University of Maine at Orono, she is representing President Maloney's alma mater. It is now my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray. I would like to personally thank him and the Governor for their continued commitment to public higher education and their continued role of supporting what we need to do here at Worcester State. Lieutenant Governor Murray.
Thank you, Chairman Brissette. I want to personally thank you and the members of the Board of Trustees for all the work that you do on behalf of Worcester State University. And I know for you it carries a special meaning, being an alum of this great institution. Governor Patrick and I want to congratulate you on the work that you have done and the investments that you have made and the work that you have done in helping bring President Mahoney here with us today and over the course of the last year. Over the past year, we have had a chance to work with President Mahoney, and he, I think, in a short period of time has demonstrated what an effective leader he is, not only for this university, its faculty, its students, but also a great leader for the city and Commonwealth. And I know that that sentiment is shared by those in government who've had a chance to work with him. I had a chance to work with him at the local level and the state level, and I want to recognize some of our partners on the state level who, by their presence, but also by their votes and advocacy, are real stewards of this university and all of public higher education. People like Senator Chandler, Representative Mahoney, who is here, and John Binienda, who is chair in the House, and also, I believe, an alum of the school as well. I know for them and the entire Central Mass delegation, they understand the importance of this facility and what it means to families and to businesses as well. We are blessed in the Commonwealth to be home for a number of world-class colleges and universities, public and private, and that includes Worcester State University. Yesterday, Governor Patrick released a vision report. Much of the leadership in that report and work in bringing it together was done by Commissioner Richard Freeland, and I want to acknowledge him and thank him for his work on a day-to-day basis and making sure that we're doing everything we can on behalf of public higher education. And we were in line talking about our efforts over the next 2 years to make sure that it's properly funded. And it is so important that we have advocates of public higher education out there making the case as to why this is a sound investment. And Commissioner Freeland is out there at the front each and every day. The report that was released at a State House ceremony was titled "Time to Lead: The Need for Excellence in Massachusetts Public Higher Education." Building on this vision report and the vision we see here from Worcester State University, our administration has and continues to make investments, strategic investments on this campus, including the new $50 million Wellness and Science Center, currently in design phase. We hope to end that soon to get it into construction phase. But that is to ensure that students here have access to state-of-the-art facilities to enhance their learning experience, their student experience, and prepare them for the 21st century. As we make these investments, it's also imperative that we, as a Commonwealth, and that has been a major focus of Commissioner Freeland's work, Secretary Revel, Secretary Bielecki, our Secretary of Economic Development and Housing, and Secretary Labor and Workforce Training, Joanne Goldstein, to make sure that we are integrating in as cohesive a fashion as possible our efforts on campuses as well as working with employers. That public-private partnership is critical in terms of workforce training and having that workforce that is really the cornerstone of economic growth in every region of the state. We know that President Maloney understands that. We know that he's been doing that work much of his professional career, and and to Barry and to his family today, congratulations. And we are immensely proud of what you've done to date, but more importantly, looking forward to what you're going to be able to do with this community in the future.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Harriette L. Chandler, State Senator for the 1st Worcester District and represents the Worcester State area.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak at such a major and magic moment in Worcester State University's history. I would like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate Barry M. Maloney, who is being inaugurated as Worcester State University's 11th president today. That's quite an achievement, and in all of their history, there have only been 11 presidents, so you are the latest and the, well, we'll see. Recently, I'm happy to be here to speak on behalf of the Senate. Recently, as you know, the legislature enacted an act relative to the state universities. The act names all of our state schools, formerly named colleges, to universities. The legislature recognition of the wide array of academic work done here through the name change shows that our state schools are constantly growing, they're constantly improving, and they're accommodating a larger number of students with each passing year. I have always said that one of the highlights of being a representative in the legislature has been, ever since I was a state representative, the opportunity to represent Worcester State, first college and now university. I feel it is the crown jewel in whatever public institutional jewels we have. And so it is really a great pleasure to be here today and to see a new jewel, a new president come to be. I would like to present on behalf of my colleagues a citation from the State Senate and President Maloney. So if you'll come up here with me. This is an official citation from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the State Senate, and it reads as follows. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Barry M. Maloney in recognition of your inauguration as president of Worcester State University. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success. That this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. It's signed by President Therese Murray, the President of the Senate. It's attested to by William Welch, who's the Clerk of the Senate, and I am very proud to be able to sign it as the State Senator for this district, which includes Worcester State University. It's dated this date. I'm signing it with my colleague who could not be here today, Michael Moore, and the date is September 21st, 2012. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Unfortunately, the Honorable Michael Moore, State Senator from the 2nd Worcester District, cannot be with us today. We know how much he wanted to be with us, but sometimes circumstances present themselves and plans change. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the Honorable John J. Binienda, Representative, keep doing that, for the 17th Worcester District and a 1970 graduate of Worcester State University. Representative.
Thank you, Trustee Brissette, and welcome all of you to Worcester State University. This is a school that keeps changing its name. When I first read about Worcester State, it was called Worcester Normal School. Then it became Worcester State Teachers and Worcester State College, and now, through the efforts of many of you in the Massachusetts legislature, it's called Worcester State University. And I'm most proud to be a graduate of the class of 1970. And I always feel that it is this institution that made the difference in my life. As I graduated in 1965 from St. Peter's High School, a much better high school than the Lieutenant Governor graduated from. So what if he wore red and white? I wore purple and white. But it's really made a difference in my life. And today, as we dedicate the inauguration of the 11th president, I thought about that and I said, geez, the school has been in existence for a long time, and this is only the 11th president. That's because the presidents of this institution of higher learning don't leave, they want to be here. Dr. Ghosh, Dr. Ashley, and of course my neighbor on the corner of Florence and Downing Street many years ago, Dr. Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan was a bright man, but he made one mistake. He built the stone wall in front of his house, which covered Downing Street and Florence Street. And he put on the top of that wall the coins of the year that that wall was erected. And it was 1953. He had a quarter, a nickel, a dime, and a penny. And every 4 inches he had a quarter, a nickel, a dime, and a penny, all with 1953 coins. The penny survived, but the rest of the coins seemed to disappear. But, I probably got a few of the quarters. But Barry Maloney, this university is very, very fortunate to have you. When I first met you, it was over at your office several months ago. And the one thing that struck me about Barry Maloney was he wanted to advance the institution, but he wanted to do it cautiously. And the one thing that really struck me was he wanted neighborhood involvement. He didn't want the neighbors being told one day that a building was going here or going there. He wanted them to know step to step. And if you're going to be successful in higher education and you're going to expand, then you have to let the neighborhood to know what's going on. When I came to Worcester State back in 1965, there were only 3 buildings. This building here, the Sullivan Science Building, the Administration Building, and the Gym Building. Now we're going to have a brand new gym building. We've got fields, football fields, we've got libraries, we've got student centers, and dormitories. And I said, wow, we've really come a long way. But I then thought back to when my good friend graduated from Worcester State, who's sitting here behind me, now a trustee, George Albro. All they had when George went to school here in the summer was a tree fort, and in the winter was an igloo. So we have come a long way in all those years. And Barry Maloney, if you'd stand beside of me, and I'd be honored if you would, because I brought with me from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts House of Representatives to Barry M. Maloney, in recognition of your inauguration as the 11th president of the Worcester State University. Congratulations. And it's signed by John Fasolo, John Mahoney, James O'Day, authored by me, John J. Binienda, and signed by the Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo. Congratulations, Barry.
Say anything. I'll be quiet. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Honorable John J. Mahoney, who represents Worcester State as well, the neighborhood state rep for the 13th Worcester District. Representative?
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me here today. And I always wondered when I went out for lunch with John Binienda why he had a big bag of quarters with him. So I guess that explains it all. But it's a very great day, and I'm very proud to represent Worcester State University in the 13th Worcester District. And when I speak to people in the State House and they ask me, what part of Worcester do you represent, I bring up Worcester State College. And so many people throughout the state have gone to this great institution that it's an automatic. And they always say, well, you represent a really nice part of the city. I said, the whole city's nice, but especially right around here at Worcester State University. But, part of the state's economic plan for the next 5-10 years going forward is to really invest in higher education. And the changes that are going to come to this institution over the next few short years will be dramatic. And I'm so happy to be here with Barry to wish him well on his term. And I know it's going to be just a really exciting time. And I'd just like to quickly share, you really get to get a measure of someone who can spend a little downtime with them. And I got an opportunity back in the spring to play some golf with Barry one afternoon. And the good news is, after watching his game, he spends a lot of time working and not practicing. And the same goes for me too. But I was struck by the way that Barry, treated everybody out there. And I really think that the true measure of someone is how they treat people that they don't have to be nice to. And he was very kind and nice to everybody there. And I see the way he interacts with not just the people here on the stage, but with the students. And I really think that is a great positive. And I wish him all the best. And congratulations.
Thank you, Representative. Also in attendance, I'd be remiss, Representative Ian Goby, if you could please stand. And also we have Dr. Gregg, Superintendent of Schools for the City of Worcester, if you could please stand. Thank you for being with us. We have another member of our distinguished platform party that was unable to be with us today, Secretary of Massachusetts Executive Office of Education, Mr. S. Paul Revell. However, we are fortunate that Commissioner Richard Freeland, Massachusetts Department of Higher Education, will bring greetings on behalf of the Commonwealth as well. Commissioner Freeland?
Thank you, Brissette. It's my pleasure and my honor as Commissioner of Higher Education to bring greetings not only on behalf of Secretary Revell, but also the Board of Higher Education. This is an auspicious day in Worcester. It's an auspicious day in Massachusetts, and I'm very happy to be part of it. I extend my congratulations to President Maloney, to the Board of Trustees, and to the entire Worcester State community on this day, which is a day of celebration, a day of hope, a day of optimism about the future. In the short period of time that I've had to get to know President Maloney, I found him to be a thoughtful and a collaborative and an accessible and thoroughly decent human being. It may come as a shock to you, but you don't always get that from the President. So, Barry, it's been a pleasure to start working with you, and I look forward to a lot of productive work together. As Lieutenant Governor mentioned, yesterday the Board of Higher Education, Governor Patrick, issued a report called Time to Lead, comprehensive assessment of public higher education in Massachusetts. That report drew attention to the vastly heightened role of public higher education all across the state, including Worcester State, in educating the young people of the state, our future citizens and our future workers. And the report identified a number of challenges that lie before our public institutions in producing what this state needs us to produce, which is the best educated citizenry and workforce in this nation. That's what Massachusetts needs, given the nature of our economy and our ambitions for this society. But we have challenges in achieving that. And I mention all that to commend the Worcester State community, faculty, staff, students, trustees, administrative leadership, for the great work which has been going on here with respect to some of those challenges. For example, one of our big issues, as the Time to Lead report points out, is that many of the students who graduate from our high schools and come into our institutions of higher education are not fully prepared for college level work. Worcester State hasn't just griped about that to the high schools, they've engaged with the high schools to try to address that issue through a very successful dual enrollment program in STEM and in English with Worcester High School, through early AccuPlacer testing and AccuPlacer prep course so that students have the best chance of avoiding remediation and placing into credit-bearing courses. In the area of college completion and completing your degree and getting and graduating, and completing a high-value certificate. Once again, Worcester State has developed a strong retention improvement program and a strong transfer improvement program, collaboratively with Quinsigamond Community College, so that students coming here from Quinsig can move seamlessly into the Worcester State program and bring their credits with them. Worcester State is taking the lead in closing achievement gaps, one of Governor Patrick's great priorities, particularly through the work of the Latino Institute, the Latino Educator Program, in a community with the Latino population is growing rapidly. And learning outcomes assessment, once again, the Worcester faculty is in the lead among the state universities in exploring new ways to assess student learning so we can help students better understand how they need to develop to fully prepare themselves to engage in society. I commend Worcester State for all these initiatives and many more. This is a strong and vibrant campus in so many different ways. The appointment of a president, of course, is always a time for a fresh look at a university, always a time to take stock of where one is and chart some new directions and set some new priorities, and I'm sure that will be happening under President Maloney's leadership. It should happen collectively involving the whole community. But I would also say President Maloney, we have a lot to build on. This is a strong institution, much good work going on, much strength to build on, even if you bring new directions to this campus. So all in all, a strong campus, a strong new president, high hopes for the future. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate you coming out to join us today. Please welcome our neighbor in this neighborhood, and he just happens to be our mayor, Joseph M.Ed. Mayor?
Chairman Brissette, ladies and gentlemen, the city of Worcester, the second largest city in New England, a forward-looking city of great diversity, spirit, talent, and resources, is proud to share a history with the Worcester State University. On behalf of the people of Worcester and this Worcester City Council, represented by Councilor Rivera here in the audience, I am honored to bring greetings and convey our welcome to Barry Maloney, the university's new president. Since its founding in 1874, Worcester State has been an essential part of our city, a landmark on the west side, and an important member of our community. Just as Worcester State defined itself over the years, expanding from Worcester Normal School for educating teachers and a few thousand students to today's beautiful campus with a renowned reputation, the university and the city grew together, and we continue to grow. Worcester is a city on the move, as is obvious from the many projects underway downtown and throughout the city. And Worcester State is a recognized partner in our future, whether it's Rockford Field, used by the city and Worcester State for baseball programs, or their commitment to Worcester Public Schools, ensuring Latino excellence. Every day, from internships, social justice opportunities, and community-based learning courses, Worcester State students are a presence in our churches, city offices, museums, shelters, parks, and schools. Partnership is a constant work in progress, and we are confident that President Maloney is committed to helping Worcester grow and thrive. President Maloney, on behalf of the citizens of Worcester, please accept our welcome and congratulations. We wish you good fortune in your work in the days and months and years ahead. We are very glad you have chosen to make Worcester your home.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I would like to welcome Dr. Maureen Stefanini, Senior Faculty Member, Professor in the Business Administration and Economics Department, that will be greetings from the campus community.
Welcome to all of you. We're so happy that you are here to participate with us on this very special day. It was about 2 years ago, a committee was established to search for the then Worcester State College's 11th president. By the time the extensive search had been completed, you, Barry Maloney, had been chosen not only as 11th president of this fine institution, but the first to be installed as president of Worcester State University. As one might expect, not everyone embraced the committee's selection. There was a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking taking place. Not having met you, nor given you a chance, there were questions as to why had the committee chosen you? What was it that they saw that made you better than all the other candidates? However, can he lead us to greater heights? We felt there was a lot at stake, realizing we'd been on a roll. Having been the only Massachusetts State College or University named by the Princeton Review as the best value college in the Northeast 8 years in a row. You haven't dropped the ball. We got it the 9th year. Having been voted best college in Worcester by readers of Worcester Magazine, who would ever believe that we were #1, more than Holy Cross, the College of the Holy Cross, WPI, Assumption College, and all of the other wonderful colleges in the Worcester Consortium. We want to hang on to that #1. Having also been named to President Obama's Higher Education Community Service Honor Roll for a 2nd year. And kudos to all of you, students, faculty, administrators, who give so much of your time so generously for your talents and the time that you commit. It's just wonderful. We were pretty proud that we had our Green Chemistry Initiative here, led by one of our 5 Fulbright scholars. And she's here today, Margaret Kerr. Increasing numbers of our students have been presenting at the Massachusetts Undergraduate Research Conference each year. And we have to brag that our women's field hockey team was recognized by the National Field Hockey Coaches Association for maintaining a 3.57 grade point average. It was the highest grade point average across all divisions, 1, 2, and 3. However, it wasn't long before you arrived on campus that you won over the naysayers, who had to acknowledge that the search committee had indeed made the right choice, President Maloney. I've been asking people what it was that helped them realize how fortunate we are that not only were you the committee selection, but that indeed you had accepted the offer and become our 11th president. The most common words I have heard about you are, you listen, you hear, and you consider others' opinions. Having recently been through both the Republican and Democratic national conventions, and having heard the remarkable speeches of Ann Romney and Michelle Obama, I'll bet you, Laura, are so glad that he was selected in 2011 rather than 2012. If it had been this year, you might have indeed have had to share with us that you shared your early meals on the pull-down ironing board in your basement apartment, and you drove around in a car with rotted-out floorboards. Barry and Laura, Carden, Liv, and Bryce, we welcome you as part of the Maloney package. We appreciate all that you have already done to enhance the image and status of the university at the college and in the community. Thank you so much. President Maloney, when you took office in July 2011, you wasted no time in getting to know the many constituents who had a vested interest in Worcester State University. Throughout the summer, you invited groups of alumni and neighbors to meet with you in open sessions. You assured the guests that you had found things exemplary at Worcester State University and intended to continue the legacy of excellence for our students. It was obvious that students are your main priority and that you expect that students are to be everyone's main priority. To that end, I say, we have the best faculty, administrators, staff, librarians, and assure you that students are our #1 priority too. And a hand for the students. I have a large envelope here of all kinds of wonderful comments that people gave me to share with you. They've been submitted by our Worcester State University community and alumni. You can read them and reflect on them whenever you wonder how you'll get through some of those days that you're bound to have. And those of you who are presidents and have been presidents of college know he's going to need these on some days. But I also have a much smaller envelope, a suggestion box of sorts. In it are a few things that people wish you would consider or maybe reconsider. You get them all. The good, the bad, and even the indifferent. Such is the life of a university president. I'll make sure these get to your office. We all wish you continuing success and hope that we get a chance to give you our post-tenure review.
Thank you, Maureen. It is now my pleasure to introduce Gregg Rosen, the president of the Worcester State Foundation Board, to share his greetings on behalf of the foundation. Gregg?
Thank you, Chairman Brissette. I'm feeling very honored and very young at this moment. Honored because I'm speaking after one of my former professors, Dr. Stefanini, which is an honor, and very young because when I came on this campus, we only had 2 new buildings that have since come since I graduated. And so with the others with 1 building, I'm feeling very young today. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. My name is Gregg Rosen, and it is my honor as an alumnus and as president of the Worcester State Foundation Board of Directors to be a part of the inauguration of the 11th president of Worcester State University, Barry Maloney. President Maloney, I'm pleased to bring greetings to the university community and to you on behalf of the alumni, foundations, corporations, and friends who believe in Worcester State University and who provide philanthropic support to help make this university a vision for reality. The 36 members of Worcester State's Foundation Board are a diverse group of individuals, men and women, alumni and friends, entrepreneurs, attorneys, realtors, accountants, bankers, and teachers. We differ in age, in background, and in careers. But like you, President Maloney, we share a common passion for the university. Because of your vision of a university where students are the center of everything, we renew our commitment to you and this outstanding institution. It has been clear to all who have met President Maloney during his first year that he understands what makes this university great, and he sees how this vibrant community of students, faculty, staff, and volunteers fit together, work together, and move this institution forward for the good of all its parts. It has also been clear that President Maloney is a builder of bridges, connecting the university in partnerships and collaborations with the institutions of our area and across the globe, both historic and cutting edge. We recognize that this presidency is a bridge connecting the past to the future, where the possibility for continued achievement and success is not just rhetoric, it is a promise. President Maloney, the Foundation Board of Directors wants you to know that we admire your willingness to listen to all opinions, your ability to bring people together to recognize and find solutions to challenges, and especially your resolve to keep our focus on your vision of what Worcester State is today and what it will be in the future. The Worcester State Foundation Board of Directors look forward to your leadership as we work together to achieve your goals in the coming years. President Maloney, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Gregg. Now I invite Mr. Vincent J. Matulaitis, President of the Alumni Association Advisory Board, to greetings on behalf of the alumni group.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, faculty, students, alumni, and friends. My name is Vincent Maloney, and I am President of the Alumni Advisory Board of Worcester Institution. Mr. Maloney, I stand here proudly on behalf of our university's 33,000 plus alumni to welcome you as the 11th President of this great institution. In your first 15 months as a leader of Worcester State, you have taken the time to get to know us and by extension, Worcester State's storied history. You've not only invited alumni to participate in the vibrant life of this university, you have opened the doors to your office and to your home to us. My colleagues on the association board and I know that you have a new active partner. We have a new active partner in alumni engagement and recognition. Your level of involvement, your level of attention, and encouragement thus far is greatly appreciated. For 136 years, from the time when the first students received their teaching degrees as participants in a revolution in public education on the scale the world has never seen, to today, skilled and worldly students in multiple disciplines, Worcester State alumni have had a deep and lasting connection to their alma mater. Worcester State has a special place in our hearts and our consciousness because it has laid the foundation for our professional successes, and it has formed bonds of many friendships. President Mahoney, you understand this and you respect it. You also urge us to act on our allegiance to this great institution and lend our support to today and tomorrow's students. Indeed, the most important people on this campus as they gain their academic footing and seek to change the world, the way the world works. We are listening and we will continue, be it through scholarship gifts for students, sharing our knowledge with the students and faculty, such as Brian Skerry, class of 1984, who last night presented a wonderful presentation in the Fuller Theater, or the recent bequest of Colonel James Sheehan, class of 1955. With you at the helm and support behind you, our collaboration bodes well for good things to come. I am very pleased to wish you the best for your tenure as Worcester State's 11th President.
Thank you, Vinny. Now I invite Mr. Trevor J. Sansoucy, class of 2013, President of the Student Government Association, who will bring remarks on behalf of the student body. Trevor?
I'd like to start by thanking all of our special guests for joining us today. Worcester State University is an institution filled with tradition. Our long-line dedication to academics, student success, and the needs of the community have created a benchmark for colleges and universities in Massachusetts. Within our long tradition, which spans over 138 years, Worcester State University has had only 11 presidents. Over the last few years, the position of president at Worcester State University has been a symbol of growth, as we've remodeled our administration building, expanded our residence halls, and look on to complete 2 more projects within the upcoming years. With all of these changes going on at Worcester State University, there isn't a single person I would want running our institution more than President Maloney. Since his arrival on campus last summer, President Maloney has spent many of his days in discussion with students all over campus, opening up the lines of communication between our student body and the administration. I personally have had the privilege of attending many meetings with President Maloney, and throughout each one of them, the same message has been prevalent. The student is the most important person on this campus. On behalf of the student body, it is with great honor that I thank President Maloney for his time at Worcester State, as well as wish him luck in his future endeavors. I know that as long as President Maloney approaches the upcoming years with the same passion he has exhibited already, the school is in good hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor, for those kind words. I now invite Ms. Colleen McKenna, class of 2013, and a member of the Board of Trustees, who will now come forward to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Frederick Woodward. Colleen?
Our keynote speaker this afternoon has more than 2 decades of executive leadership experience as a college president. He was president of the President's Councils of 3 states and was named a transformational leader for the 21st century by the University of Texas Leadership Program. Dr. Woodward has chaired national, regional, and statewide conferences and served as a consultant on the development of institutions in Greece and New Jersey. He was the president of the University Colleges of Technology Alliance and of the Partnership of Environmental Technology Education. Most recently, Dr. Woodward has led the not-for-profit private economic development organization, the Development Corporation, as president and CEO. In addition to all of these great accomplishments, he was also the 17th president of Westfield State University, where he mentored our new president, Barry Maloney, during his time as VP of Student Affairs. It is with great honor that I introduce Dr. Frederick Woodward.